Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Double D's Card Talk. I'm Dustin Bellinger. Last month, if you saw, our episode dealt with an aspect of player collecting and some players that we felt were underrated or undervalued, and you should consider adding them to your PCs. This month, we're going to do a talk here about set collecting. And set collecting is something that I haven't done a whole lot of as a collector, but I have done some, and this set here is one that I put together myself back in 1995. It is the 1995 Pinnacle set. Now, I put this set together by hand by opening packs and boxes back in the summer when this product was brand new. And, I placed it here in this cardboard box. And really, for the most part, it has stayed in this box for the past 20 plus years. It's been moved several times as I've moved around in my life. But I tell you what, I can't think that it's come out of its box and been flipped through and looked at more than 3, maybe 4 times total in all this time that I've had this set together. So just kind of give a little bit of a peek to some of the cards in the set. Some guys that were stars back then, and some that might have been a who's that even back then when this set was new. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can build a set. Of course, I did this one by hand, by breaking packs and boxes when it was a new product. You can certainly do the same with a bit of a current product, or even with, say, an older one. There's still lots of product that's out there that's unopened that you can still purchase for reasonable amount and do the same type of thing. But then also for some that like the vintage and that, you just can't go out and say purchase boxes of 1973 tops very much anymore. So if you're wanting to put together a set like that, or perhaps even older, you've got to go out there and search and find, maybe a large lot of the set in order to get yourself started, or possibly, work on buying it by singles and build it one set of it or one card at a time to complete the set. There's lots of different ways to do it, and we want to hear some of your stories on what sets you put together and how you went about doing it. But for next, I'm going to kick it over to my partner, Dustin Abraham, and he's going to spend a couple minutes to show you a set that he and his son have been working on.
All right, thanks, B-Side. That's a pretty cool set that you got there. Quite a while back, our good friend Hitman23 sent Blake and I a box of 1987 tops. He said was about 100 cards shy of a complete set. And we finally decided to bust it out and put it in order and start putting it in a binder. So let's check it out. Okay, here's my special guest, and he's putting the cards into the pages right now. Mm-hmm. And let me grab a couple cards out of the box here. As you can see, it's the 1987 top set. It's one of the most recognizable sets in all of baseball cards. It's a very well-liked design, a very common and very popular set. And so what we did was we printed off a checklist and then put the cards in order and went through and checked off the ones we had and circled the ones we didn't have. These lines here represent the end of a page, so after a while you can go and say, hey, is Walt Terrell the last card of a page? Yes? No? Because that way if you somehow accidentally get off, then you can figure it out before you get too far ahead of yourself. So as you can see right now, Blake is putting in some little bits of paper, and that's for when we're missing a card. We put a little scrap of scratch paper and wrote number 313 Roberto Clemente and put that in place of the card. As you can see, you can get a full page. They look really nice in the binder together. They look great. And then the binder itself, this is actually a good tip for anybody who's a set builder, because you need a lot of supplies. You need a lot of card pages and binders and stuff.
This is a really big binder.
And this is actually a basketball card binder, but who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
We got it at Goodwill for $2. So look at thrift stores, look at Goodwills.
And it's a nice too.
Yeah, and it's a nice one. We took a hint from Pepino Man and put a card on the outside, one of our duplicates. And so yeah, pretty much the only drawback of building these sets like this is it takes a lot of time to put them together. I suppose other people will do them as they go, unlike us where we had a bunch and then put them together. This is actually not the first set we've ever built. We actually put together the 92 Topps Kids, but this is a much smaller set. It's like 132 cards. I had bought an unopened box, and we opened a bunch of packs, and then we started to put them together. We put a post-it note on each page, number 1, and the second page, number 10. And so that way we could kind of figure out where each card went so we put them in the binder as we went. We actually put them in order as we were putting them in the binder. But like I said, this is a much smaller set, and so it was much easier to do it that way. But anyways, we're going to keep plugging away, and we're actually going to kick it off to one of the best set builders on all of YouTube, Mr. Pepino Man, and he's going to do a little guest segment for us.
Pepino Man.
Pepino Man.
Pepino Man.
So enjoy. And when we come back, we'll check and see how we're doing on our set.
Wow, thanks for the introduction. You're too kind. You're too kind. You're making me blush. So anyways, thanks for having me on the show. I can't believe I'm on Double D Card Talk. Yo, what's up? I love the show. I watch the show. My mom watches the show. Hi, Mom. I know she's watching. What's up, Mom? I made it big time. I'm on YouTube on Double D Card Talk. And so anyways, we're here to talk about set collecting and putting them in binders, which is one of my passions now. You know, it's something that has evolved. It wasn't something I was into as a kid, or I've always been into something that has evolved from all my years in baseball card collecting. Now, one of my main things is putting sets in binders, man. Love the look of the wall. Love the way, you know, it's a great decoration. And I just love being able to go through any binder I want and take a look. So thanks for having me on the show. And let's talk about putting sets in binders. Why do I love to put sets in binders? For one, I like to have my cards raw and be able to look at them at any time. Oh, baby, I like it raw. So come on. Don't be afraid. Come look at my binders. Come look at my sets. So let me just start off by telling you guys how it all started. Baseball cards, I can't remember the first pack my dad ever bought me, the first card I had, none of that. All I know is that I've always had baseball cards. When I was a kid, me and my brothers, 1 year younger than me, we had a giant just wooden toy box full of Tonkas and Hot Wheels and stuff like that, you know. And there was always baseball cards at the bottom. I always remember that. I remember sometimes when you wanted to get them, you had to take all the toys out and reach in there to take out a baseball card. But it wasn't until about 84, 85 when my cousin told me about how they're supposed to be in sets, and that's what the numbers in the back meant. So after that, I remember 86 being the first set that I tried to put together. Didn't happen. The 87 didn't happen. The 88 didn't happen. It wasn't until 89 that I completed my first set. Steve Jeltz, man. That was the card I needed. Philadelphia Steve Jeltz. And the trippy part was, I didn't know who the guy was that I didn't have a checklist back then. And it wasn't until I discovered Beckett and there was an article on the less feared hitter, on a survey by pitchers, and it said Steve Jeltz, and it showed his card, and that was the number I needed. And when I pulled that Steve Jeltz finally, because I knew it was the card that I needed, oh my God, it was just like Yankees card pulling an Aaron Judge, like JMVP pulling out a Chris Bryant auto. You know, me pulling out Corey Seager. It was that kind of excitement, man, and that excitement still exists today. You know, when I get the last card, you know how I celebrate, man. It's like, man, it's just so great to complete a set. You know, it's a great feeling. It's just like somebody pulling a hit. The same way that you guys feel when you pull a hit, it's how I feel when I complete a set. It's just something that's ingrained in me, and that's what I do. And to me, there's nothing like having a set, you know, a card to look at just at will. You know, if I want to look at, this is a 97 Select, you know, if I want to look at the cards, you know, all you do is just open up the pages. And there it is. You don't got to look through a box. You got to search. And, you know, it's in my memory. I know where most cards are. If I want to see a Derek Jeter base, boom, there's the Derek Jeter base. Nice. There's something. I like my cards raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. And so that's how my love for baseball card sets and the binders came along, you know, with YouTube. YouTube is what made me start putting my stuff in binders, believe it or not. I wasn't, so this is all new. This is something that hasn't, you know, I remember watching a contest by Eastern Connecticut CT Sport Card. Sorry if I probably didn't get your name right. I know I didn't. But he had this thing about a man cave, you know, and show us your man cave. And man cave was so pitiful that I started to do this just to impress, you know, to make a new video so I could enter his contest. And that's how this birth of this came along. So this addiction is not even a year old, but it's gonna stick with me forever. I got a feeling that this is what I want to do from now on, is collect sets and put them in binders. So what's up, Dustin Bellinger? Any more questions?
And Pepino, man, you are clearly one of a kind. And if we could steal just a few more minutes of your time, you know, a couple other questions that we'd have. Number one, and I'm sure this answer is different for every collector, but for you specifically, with the sets that you've built and the ones that you're working on now, what is it that made you decide that that was the particular set that you were going to build? Is there a consistent factor between them, or is it even different with each one? Just tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Well, great question. Let's just dig right into that. One of the first sets I started putting together, besides my 80s and 90s, because I had completed most of the late 80s and early 90s cards on my own as a kid, and I had them in boxes. But the 69, so this guy had the complete set, and he started selling off his stars, and you know, I bought the Reggie Jackson, and I bought the Nolan Ryan off of him. A couple weeks later, he posted up what's called a starter set. If you don't know what a starter set is, basically what this was to begin with. Somebody has a no stars, mostly commons and stuff, and it's just a quick way to start collecting a set, and then you just buy all the stars mainly on your own. That's how I started getting this card. I bought his starter set off of him, and then I started buying all the stars myself, and I need 3 cards to complete this. This 58, the way I started collecting this set is I had posted up after I had bought the 58 Topps Mickey Mantle, which was my first Mickey Mantle that I had ever purchased, and I swore that was PC for life. I'm gonna get buried with it. When I posted it up, this guy told me that him and his dad had been collecting this set. That's one of the last cards he needed. So I ended up trading it to him for it. And then later on, he posted up and he told me he would sell me all his 52 all his 1958 doubles, you know, for $1 a piece. So I bought all his which was like 200 and something, and so that was the starter set for a 58. And from then I've been building on that, and I think I need like 6 cards or something like that to complete that set. But one of my first goals that I ever had was completing all the 80s tops. And as you can see here, I got all the 80s tops. Then I wanted to get all the 81 Donruss. You can see 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. Then I wanted to complete all the Fleer 80s. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. I mean, where did I fall off at? There's a 93 Fleer Final Edition, which goes to this one. Then I got the 2006 Fleer. And then I got the Score 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. Then you got the Upper Deck, the 89, 90, 91, 92. And then I skipped, man, all the way to like 2008. And then these are just extras. And even on my tops, I started getting the Heritage and the tops chromes. And these are doubles. This is actually a double 83, a double 85, double 87, a double 88. Then I got a bunch of football and basketball complete sets there. And so that's basically the way it goes. I try to get starter sets. And see, like this one, 74. After I completed all the 80s, my next goal now is to get all the 74 tops, which is the year I was born, which is one of these. Get the 74. I already completed the 75. I got the 76. The 78 is not complete. And then I go all the way to 80s. So my next goal is to get all the 74s till now. But as you can see, I got the 89, the 90, 91, 92, 93, and then the 93 gold, the 94, the 94 gold. Then I skip all the way to 2000. And then when I got back into the hobby, I completed all these sets by hand. The 2015, 2016, 2017, and the 2018 first series. I got that. So that's how it goes. That's how I get them. Any more questions?
Appreciate hearing your thoughts on that. Now, this next question deals with as you're getting closer to completing the set, and at what point is there like a cutoff for you where you decide, I'm not going to buy more packs or more boxes of a product, and when you start chasing just the individual singles that you need? What do you have a plan to that, or how does that work out for you?
Okay, well, that's relatively easy to answer now. The evolution of that, though, however, is probably a little bit more complicated. Let's just say when I first came out with this goal, of all my goals, starting off with I wanted to complete all the 80s, which I did, and then my goal now is to complete all the sets from my birthday on, which is 74. I was born in 1974, so I want to get every complete tops from 74 to now. And before, my first goal was to get them all done by packs. Well, I got all the 80s done by packs, and and I'm still far behind all the modern cards I've been putting down by pack, and I think I would just want to keep up with the modern cards putting by pack, because now the cards from the 70s, those packs aren't cheap, and economically, that's just not a wise answer. So I've evolved I wanted to put everything together by only packs, but that's an impossible mission. You got to be realistic, or else the hobby's not going to treat you right if you have unrealistic goals, and that might not be too good for your psyche, and you might give up the hobby. So set realistic goals. From now on, I just want to get modern sets. From now on, everything from 2000, I started in 2015, getting everything, done by packs. So from now on, I want to get everything done by packs, and the rest, I just want to get them through trade. One of the goals is I don't want to get cards online. I've never bought cards online. No COMC, no eBay, no any of that stuff. I just want to do trades with people. So every card I got from a person that I kind of know or connected, through social media nowadays. But yeah, I want to get all current cards from packs, and the rest I just want to get them from people, either through buy or trade. So next question, please.
Obviously, you have a preference for binders, but I'm wondering, is there any other storage methods that you like or that you would recommend to people? What thoughts do you have as far as set storage? What do you prefer to do, in addition to the binders?
All right, storage. Very good question. I'm a set collector, so I want one set from every year in a binder. And then my overflow goes into boxes. And boxes has come along a long way. My first boxes when I started collecting were a shoebox. I remember I had small shoe boxes then. I wanted to get high tops. I would beg my parents to buy me high tops because I wanted a bigger box for my baseball cards. And then, you got your basic 800 count boxes. But the pain in the butt with those boxes like that is that you stack them up. As you've seen all the ones in my closet, I just have boxes of these stacked up and stacked up. And the problem with that is when you want to get to the one on the bottom, you have to remove all these other ones, just to get to that one. When you're looking for a card that's in this box, you got to remove all these other ones. So it's come a long way now. I have this cardboard box house, and I have these. And these I like because they have these little handles right here to pull them out. I mean, that is so sweet. I mean, that is just awesome. And then this cardboard house, what I like about it is you can reach the bottom ones and just pull them out without having to remove all the ones in the top and reshuffle everything. Because my goal is, I'm not like a lot of other collectors who plans on passing their collection to their kids. My kids aren't interested in the hobby, so I want to be like the people I see in my LCS. There's a lot of older gentlemen at my LCS that are just basically selling off their collection, before they leave the world. And that's kind of what I want to do. So I've been starting to put, as you can see, these are all 54 to 78 tops. I basically just been putting my whole collection. I'm going to try to put them all in order so I can, categorize them and file them and I guess move on from being a collector to being a dealer when I get old and sell off all my cards. So I'm going to put them all in order numerically and by make. So this is my second preferred storage. I'm not too much into one touches, cases, PSA. I keep it simple, man. I'm old school. I just like the binders, and the overflow goes in boxes. That's how I roll. What's up, man? So what we got next?
So that's really interesting. Now, my next question, with vintage sets, obviously getting a checklist is relatively easy. It's pretty accessible, but a lot of these newer sets with short prints and alternate photos and variations, the checklist can be a bit harder to kind of pin down. Do you have like a site that you use or that you recommend for determining, what checklist you use? And what are your thoughts on, do you prefer just kind of like a basic set, or do you count inserts and some of the variations and the alternatives, photos and short prints? Do you include all of that in there when you're building a set? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to exploit me as the most boring card collector on YouTube who just put some entertainment in his videos to make it interesting. But to answer your question, let me go with the second question first. Do I go for the inserts and stuff like variations and numbered cards and autographs? No. For my sets, I'm going for the poor man set. I'm not going for what some call the master set. Let's take for example my favorite set that I haven't completed yet, but I'm still working on from last year, is the Top School label. Beautiful set, man. I just love it. I want to put it all together, but I only want one card of each. Okay, let's take for example, see this Julio Urias? This is the blue version. It's numbered. Okay, this is the same card. Okay, there's a blue version, a red version, a black version, and this base one. And then you go to the same card. They're all numbered 33. Okay, same thing with this one. Blue version, the red version, the black version. You got this one, same thing, man. You got all these versions, variations, numbered cards. I don't care. All I want is one card from each to fill up this binder. As you can see, I'm missing one here. And I don't care about all the other ones. I just want one of each. So to answer that question, no, I really don't care about all the variations, short prints, and all that. Doesn't interest me. I'm going just for the base. I'm going for the basic, and that makes me happy. So now the next question was about checklists. I don't really use. Oh, let me tell you something about this. Tops. Every time you buy a hobby box of this, or it comes with an autograph. Every single box, man. And these autographs are just beautiful. I love buying these boxes. I got a Bryce Harper redemption out of this, which I'm still waiting for. I don't know when it's ever gonna come. I did also get a Javier Baez that I sent to JMVP. So I mean, I love this product, but no way am I going for the master set of it. The basic makes me happy. Okay, now I'll get into the question about checklist. How do I check my checklist? Vintage is easy. Basically, all my sets, I'll show you real quick. All my sets are done by numbers. This is my checklist. Check out my checklist for my 1974. Okay, it's numbers. That's all you should know is numbers. I should just tell you, hey, I need my 74 tops, number so-and-so. And back in my days, you look in your box, you look at the number, boom, there you go. So that's how I do my checklist. But I do gotta say, when I get down to the last, I don't know, maybe even 40 or so, I start to write down the names. Well, how do I find out the names? Basically, I just, we got all these smartphones now and Googling me this and Googling me that. I check Google and I just type in the name, and normally it'll come out somewhere. It'll come out either from an eBay sale or from Dean's Cards or Cardboard Connection, Beckett. The card will come out with the name. And then, so as you can see, I go down with the numbers. And then once I get down to about, maybe 30 or 40 or less, then I'll put in the names. And Beckett, I still do Beckett, man. Old school. I'm an old school cat, so I know I don't, I'm not very modern. So, but to each his own, man. If you want to collect a master set, you collect that master set, man. I just want the basic. That's me, man. I love watching other people who collect differently, man. We all collect different. Respect each other. So love the hobby. Keep collecting baseball cards forever. I said, thanks for having me on, Double D Card Talk. This was awesome. Thanks, man. Meow, meow, meow. Double D Card Talk.
Oh my god!
Great stuff there. Nice little Q&A with the YouTube Hall of Fame inductee Pepino Man. Looks like Blake finished putting all the cards in the binder for the 87 top set. We ended up being about, I think, 66 cards shy of the complete set. So I'll post a list of what cards we're missing. And I encourage anybody else that's working on a set to do a video about your set and what cards you're missing, or comment down below if you don't want to make a video. But I definitely encourage that. Another thing I wanted to add was Wesker Griff had mentioned this to me once, that an important part of set building is patience. Don't overpay for a card you need. Wait for a good price. Maybe you only need one more card and you just want to get it over with. Don't overpay for cards. Wait for it and it'll come to you. Also, besides Pepino Man, I want to give a huge thanks to Pepino Man, but I also want to say thank you to Hitman23 and to Cool Toads. They supplied some of the questions that you heard B-side Ask Pepino Man today. So with that, I guess we are done with this episode, and thank you for watching. Thanks to everybody that helped out with the video, and we'll see you next time.